Oh. Hey, I'm back. Can you believe I went to Plymouth to go see SpongeBob filmed on stage? God, I can't wait to make a vlog about this straight away.
Several months later.
Oh my god, hey, and welcome back to my kingdom of stagey isolation.
Who went to see SpongeBob get filmed live on stage?
Theatre. It is another day here in lockdown, or should I say Bikini Bottom Day. Ha! Here's the thing. I went to see SpongeBob getting filmed live on stage in the UK back in November of this year. I was gonna make a vlog about it, and then I forgot. Or I kind of kept remembering, I was like, oh, I need to do that SpongeBob video, and then I just didn't. I am really great at procrastinating. But I have finally decided that enough is enough, and it took a global pandemic for me to sit down and finally have enough time to think, you know what, I should make that SpongeBob video. So here it is. I will be telling you how I managed to get tickets to the SpongeBob filming, what it was like. I even have some super sneaky inside video clips that I was definitely not supposed to film while I was there. And stay tuned to the end of this video for an extra special giveaway as well of some exclusive merchandise. So, let's get right into it. The first thing I heard about this, that SpongeBob was even going to be filmed for TV, was on Twitter, and they announced it was going to be filmed for Nickelodeon, and my friend Rakaya, who knows everything about everything in the stagey world, said she'd heard some gossip it was going to get filmed in the UK. Based on that, a lot of people were then hypothesising what theatre it might get filmed in, why this would even be happening. Why are you beeping? Stop beeping outside. I'm wildly important. Then the next thing I heard about it was on the Musical Theatre Appreciation Society Facebook page. Somebody posted that sort of local youth groups and children's groups in Plymouth were being invited because it was being filmed in Plymouth, at the Theatre Royal Plymouth, to which the collective response was, what? It's really weird. A, that they were filming in the UK, and B, that they were filming in Plymouth. But I have a theory as to why this was. So basically, while it was being filmed, the US tour was going around in America, and that was non-equity, which meant they couldn't license an equity cast production in the US. They couldn't pay them equity rates to do it over there because of the licensing arrangements, so they had to physically film it in the UK, even though I think the entirety of the cast was American. As for why it was Plymouth, I legitimately have no idea. So I saw this on Facebook and thought, I am not a home-educated child, I'm not any of these people that this advert is for, nor am I local to Plymouth, but I thought, you know what, if you don't ask, you don't get. I thought I will just draft an email asking if I can have a ticket. And they came back, yes, I'm assuming you live in Plymouth because we don't want you to have to travel all of this way just to see SpongeBob. Now, I do not live in Plymouth. I do not live near Plymouth. I had just moved from living in Bournemouth, which is still not near Plymouth, but it was a heck of a lot nearer. I moved 3 counties to the east, but I didn't want them to worry, so I said, yeah, I'm living in Plymouth right now. I'm a student studying at Plymouth Uni. Lies. Total lies. I'm sorry, Theatre Royal Plymouth staff. And they told me I could have a ticket reserved for free. It wasn't costing anything. It was just a free audience thing. So I decided to go to Plymouth. I took 3 trains. It took me like 6 hours.
82 kilometers later.
I have escaped for a little stagey adventure, and I have gone to the other side of the country in an undisclosed UK location, unless you can recognise the landmarks that are around me, for a special, very stagey, very exciting thing. Stay tuned to find out what I am doing today, because it's really exciting.
And I turned up at the theatre, gave my name, and I got one of these. And so this was fun, because I felt very like VIP audience member. So the way that they filmed it, they did it over 2 days. They did all of Act 1 on one day and all of Act 2 on the next day. I was there on the Act 2 day. So what that meant is for audience shots, where you could see the audience in the edge, they wanted to try and match the day 1 audience to the day 2 audience so it looks consistent across the end video. So they were kind of plucking people in from the crowd, and they had this one seat that is literally by itself on the front row right at the end, and they said, is anyone here by themselves? And I was like, woo! That's me at the theatre alone. Story of my life. But it was an amazing seat, and I was right next to a giant camera operator. And then I realised, if I was in the shot, you would see this giant camera. There's no way I'm going to be in the shot. I'm not going to be on the thing. And that was fine with me. I was just happy to be there. I go inside and the set is so cool. It is just like a replica of the Broadway set, slightly smaller, because it's not a huge stage at the Theatre Royal Plymouth. It's not a huge theatre, it's very wide and it's a lovely space, but it's like only a 2-tier theatre. It had stalls and some loges and a bit of a dress circle, but it was really not that big. And obviously a lot of it had been gutted for like film crews and sound desks and all of that stuff going on. It was very much a working filming studio space, which was really interesting actually. That was almost as much fun as seeing the show was seeing what goes into a taping like that. So there was this warm-up guy who would talk to us before they start filming and then between scenes kind of trying to get us reacting well, trying to liven us up so that we were laughing, so that we were clapping in the right places. And between segments, so they kind of filmed it, I think it was split into 4 parts, basically how they had it with advert breaks. It was split into like 15-minute chunks and they would do each chunk twice. But this guy, he was amazing, he was really funny, and he was talking to kids in the audience, he was getting people to play games, SpongeBob trivia games, and towards the end he had to do this so many times that he was just like, who wants to come up here and sing something? And I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. Even though I do sing, it's like a karaoke moment, and I'm like, eh. Then some kids went up and did Do You Hear the People Sing? At this point, it was near the end of the show and most of the cast were on stage anyway and started doing Les Mis choreography. Obviously, I do not have a video clip of that to show you next.
To stop when tomorrow comes.
Several song-filled hours later.
It's getting towards the end of the filming and this guy is like, does anyone else want to sing? Anyone? And he's been staring in my direction the whole time because I'm right in his eye line. And he's looking at me as I go, eh. He's like, okay. And so I went up and I'm thinking, what do I sing? What do I sing? And he's chatting to me. He's like, do you sing? I was like, yeah, I've done shows. He was like, oh, this is going to be great then. And my go-to panic song is Out There from Hunchback of Notre Dame. So I was like, you know what? Just do it. Which turns out he loves that song. So that we had a nice time, if nothing else. And because I did that, I got a free poster. Very exciting. There were some really cool moments during the filming. There's a lot of parts of the show where people like come through the audience. I'd listened to bits of the show. I didn't know the whole show that well, and I wasn't 100% sure on who the cast was going to be because it was all very hush-hush. So they hadn't officially announced the cast or anything like that. So I'm trying to pick out like, oh, that's Ethan Slater, that's Wesley Taylor. Most of the original Broadway cast were there. And the guy who came out and did the pirate song at the start of the second act, the very first thing we saw, I was like, why is he familiar? And he did this pirate thing. And he messed up one of his lines a little bit. The bit where he has to be like, I didn't come all the way from NCINO. He messed that up a bit and they had to do a retake of it. At which point he says, that's why I'm a cartoon guy and not a Broadway guy. In the SpongeBob voice because it was Tom Kenny who voiced SpongeBob. And that was the most starstruck I got all day.
80,000 impressions later.
Towards the end, the cast did this like Q&A thing where they got to answer questions from the audience. And they said some lovely stuff about like following your dreams, kids, and talking to all the kids in the audience because it was mostly filled with children, let's be real. Wesley Taylor was asked what it had been like working with everyone, to which he said,
everyone in my cast is an inferior species to me, and it should be called Plankton the Musical.
Inside a scoop, I am pretty sure the vocals for most of the songs were added in post, because a lot of the people when they were singing were kind of just like, I am very much giving it half energy, but looking like I'm really singing. But Ethan Slater was giving it everything. It was, oh my god, I got to see the bit where he climbs into the volcano and is belting while hanging upside down. That was insane. That was amazing. Yeah, my favourite bits they filmed. I loved seeing Ethan climbing into the volcano, belting upside down. I loved Christina Sajou climbing up all of the boxes with him. That was really cool. Everything about the set and those costumes was so good. I loved the electric skates and all the skating stuff they were doing. I loved Jalen Josie just belting her arse off. That was amazing. Every moment Wesley Taylor on stage was cool. It was just so great seeing all of these amazing performers and seeing this really creative and interesting show that speaks to modern society issues in a way that's very accessible for kids. I really don't have that much like insider goss because basically the cast did the whole show perfectly twice. Because most of them had been doing the show on Broadway, so they knew what they were doing at that point.
4 to 6 weeks later.
So then come to, I'm watching it when it actually comes out on TV months later, and my friend sees it first, and I'm like, oh, let me know if you see me, and I'm thinking, I'm next to the camera, I'm not going to be in it, and she watches the whole thing through, she's like, couldn't see you. I then watch it a couple of weeks later. I watched the whole first act. I know I'm not in this because I wasn't there for the filming of that. It gets to the first song of the second act, the pirate song, and I am there. I see myself in the edge. I'm like, oh, that's me. And then it goes to the next clip, and I am there again. And then I'm just hanging out in the frame, living my best life for like a whole few seconds. I'm like, what? This is way more than I expected to be in the filmed version of the show. So that was exciting. And spoiler alert, I'm smiling like a lunatic because it was the first thing after we got in the room, and I'm sitting by myself. I felt very conspicuous. I was on the front row, and so I was like, I want the cast to feel my good energy, and if they do catch me on camera, I want to be smiling so big, just so big. Like, I'm having the best time. Like, I was clapping the loudest. I was like, yay! I am enjoying this. If anyone else is filming their musicals for television and would like an enthusiastic audience member, I bring you nothing but unbridled joy.
Epilogue.
But yeah, it was super cool, and moral of this story is just ask and you shall receive. Sometimes. People are lovely. People who work in theatres are lovely. Shout out to the staff of the Theatre Royal Plymouth who are currently facing redundancies, as this is one of the venues that is looking to possibly close as a result of the financial uncertainties of the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on the UK theatre industry. It was a lovely venue, the staff were amazing, and it will be such a shame if it gets wiped out by the government's failure to respond to our current circumstances. In happier news, I promised you a giveaway, and here it is. Because I sang on the stage of the Theatre Royal Plymouth while they were in between scene changes, I got given this... Oh my god, it's huge. SpongeBob the Musical live on stage poster. I will put a picture of it up so that you can see the whole thing. But basically, it is too big for my flat, and I'm giving it away to one very lucky person. If you would like to win this, if you're a SpongeBob the Musical fan, please comment down below this video with Mickey Joe giveaway and make sure to share it on Twitter as well for an extra entry. Head over to my Instagram page where you'll be able to get an extra entry that way as well. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If there's anything else you would like to know about my experience of going to see SpongeBob the Musical filmed live on stage, let me know. If you haven't watched the filmed version of SpongeBob the Musical yet, please do. It is joyous and lovely and everything we need right now. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to my Stagey YouTube channel for more content coming very, very soon. And then maybe next time I will give you the gossip before a show is filming in the UK and you will be able to come see it as well. I hope you enjoyed. I hope everyone is staying safe and that you have a stagey day.
For 10 more seconds, I'm Mickey Joe Theatre. Oh my god, hey. Thanks for watching, have a stagey day. Subscribe!